All right, this is a 1957 Williams Kings machine I just got done restoring for a customer. I don't have time to set up a goofy tripod, so we're just going to play a game on here real quick. I do have a credit on the machine, but since I did make the nickel mech work, let's put a nickel in. Balls roll over, balls played countdown, lift the ball up. I also don't have both hands available, so hopefully this flipper gap's wide enough that I'll be able to get away with using one hand. Oop. Oh. 900,000 ball one's kind of rough. Alright, 2 queens, 2 jacks, a king. Good shot. Another card. One more jack and we'll have it. Oh. That could have been our last jack. No! Alright. That was a queen. Alright. All jacks complete. Oh! Darn. Game over. 4,740,000 or 3,740,000. That was pretty bad. Got all the jacks complete. That lit my first special. If I'd completed all the queens, that would have lit 2 specials on one of the gobble holes. And then if I got all the cards complete, that's 5 specials on one of the holes. And that's always lit. It just alternates. The million is not always lit. It's lit maybe about like, I believe 3 or 4 times out of the 10 steps of the 10,000 unit. And, you know, it's only lit on one of the holes, so it's pretty unlikely to hit that million. I knew I was going to regret putting the wing nuts on here. But yeah, no, this is a fast playing game. Replaced a lot of parts on this. Like, there was, just so you can see the parts I replaced. Relay was fried for the 3 of a kind relay, and that one had already been replaced once before. Might be an issue with that. This one, the flipper pawl is completely loose in there. I've never seen that before. I've certainly seen this piece come loose, just not this. So, yeah. And then the other flipper, the other side, the bracket was split in half. So yeah, it was split in half. Got a new bracket on that side. Of course, this is the vintage where you have to replace the flipper shoe with the new style. I ended up going with some old Bally flippers I had. I wish I kept the same style where the screw screwed in through the top, but I didn't have any of that shoe on hand with the screw that goes to the top. So unfortunately, you do have to always replace these because of the wear that it gets in the when they make the shoe not part of the shaft, then it's always going to lead to a lot of wear. Also, this was in one of the bell plungers, so this was slamming into a bell for a while. That'll either destroy the bell or knock the whole unit off, so, or flange the plunger out to the point where it doesn't work again. So new bell plungers. There, now you can call me. There you go. Ta-da. Just me doing the wing nuts with one hand because they didn't know how to make a lockdown bar in this vintage. Yeah, other than that, this game has been in this gentleman's home ever since the early 60s. I've seen the couple other pictures there are of kings on Internet Pinball Database. They are just totally hosed. They are completely destroyed. Plastics are original too. Even the bumper caps are original, if you believe it. But yeah, the plastics are original. I just flattened them down with an ironing board. We set this down like take the glass off. Get a quick look at the internals. Customer should be here any minute, so I just wanted to get a really quick halfway decent video out on it. There is no game over relay either, so when your ball lands on ball 5, it just shows game over, but there's no match number. This is before the match number, and your flippers stay active. So literally the only way you even win games is 5 million to 8.5 million for the replays, and then getting your specials by getting all the cards. So even though it says game over, the game's still active. I can hit the special for one special, and it doesn't even cancel out the 500 million. If the hole happens to be lit for $1 million, you get the $1 million. It's kind of fun to watch the $1 million. Now it's a replay for 5 million points. Now if I complete the rest of the cards, king, now I've got double special in one of my holes. All right, let me get a couple other 100,000 so I don't get a replay. I've got 5 replays right now. And then hit the queen on either the center, the left, the right, or the upper rollover when the bumpers are lit. That'll give me my queen. What's even funnier is if you get a card down here, it just steps the unit up. This does not even score you points. I thought that was so mean. But yeah, so got all the cards completed. That means one of my holes alternates for 5 specials. You're never gonna have the 5 specials and the $1 million be on the exact same hole, but you hit the 5 specials, there you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 replays and another 500,000. That's all just done off the one gobble hole switch. There's no trough switches for any of the gobble holes, which I thought was kind of interesting design. I'm used to the Gottlieb's later, where there's like one switch on the gobble hole itself, and then there's another switch along this trough so it knows like which side you got or something. But they just do all the functions off of this one switch. It can either be 500,000, $1 million, or any one of the 5 specials. Like here, I'll hit the 5 specials off this switch again. You can see whatever happens on the bottom board happens. Yeah, this relay pulls in the I believe that's the special relay. Yeah, let's look at the relay labels. Lock relay has been overridden. You got your target relay, your 500,000 relay, jacks, queens, and kings, and these stay energized whatever card position is in. So as I flip through my 10,000s, see, now it's jacks, now it's kings, now it's queens, jacks. And it does stop in order. This is kings, and then your next position is also kings. And then it's queens, and then it's jacks, because the unit has 10 different positions, but it needs to cycle through 3 different cards. So you've got 2 different positions, you got 3 different positions where it's jack, 3 out of 10 positions where it's queen, and then 4 out of 10 positions where it's king. Because that's just the way they made it. It ended up being the 0 position, and the 1 position is king. And then it cycles through the rest of the way. Then you've got the special relay, yep. Million relay. Reset relay, the start trip relay. Start the whole game, and then double change relays down here. If they would stop buzzing with your big old resistor on there. I'm not sure what the ohms are on that. Let's see. And that thing's hot. It's like 50 ohms. Got your score motor. There's no schematics in this machine, but you can only see the score motor positions. There's literally nothing to do on the score motor. The only time the score motor ever runs is if it's a reset or if it needs to count the gobble hole. There is nothing on this entire machine that does the score motor. There's no 50,000. There's no 500,000 except for the gobble hole. And yeah, that's kind of funny. Other than that, that was the relay that was fried that replaced. We can see these relay labels over here to the right. We've got the 3-of-a-kind relay. That's the one that fried. That only pulses when, or pulls in when you've got every card complete. 2-of-a-kind relay. Jack's relay trip, Queen's trip, King's trip, game relay, and tilt relay. I believe the trips happen once a unit gets to its final position. I believe that's when that happens. So like, that's the Queen's relay. I'm advancing the Queen lights. So, yep, Queen's relay trip. So, here's you got your Queens, you got your Kings down here. Kings tripped and your 2-of-a-kind relay tripped because you've got 2 of the sequences complete. And then lastly, one more Jack. Both the Jack's relay will trip and your 3-of-a-kind relay will trip. So you've got your 5 specials lit. Yeah, very nice. Nice, mostly new flipper parts. This is the pawl that was broken. This is the bracket that was broken. You can see I got that double screw in the bracket. I was able to use the original bracket here, but I do prefer replacing. Would you shut up? I do prefer replacing the bracket with one that actually screws in with 2 screws instead of the one that's on this one. But yeah, I got the nylon lock nuts in the back, of course, especially on these Williams games. I believe these are 50-volt coils, so it always helps to have the nylon lock nuts when you got the 50-volt coils. Other than that, the only relays under here are the one for the left bumpers and the bottom right bumper. And then they're in series, so they do both of them. And yeah, I mean, the rest of this is just, yeah, steppers, trip bank, relays, and that's literally all it is on the underside. I got all my LEDs in there too, so I'm hoping the customer will be real happy. But like I said, yeah, there's no game over relay, so after you've got your first point, this just closes, which there's supposed to be a spring that returns this guy. I don't think I have him anymore, but it was a horrible design. There it is. There it is. So this is a horrible design by Williams. Williams did almost everything right in this vintage, but you can see the way that this ball return is supposed to work. This little spring is supposed to sit around here and then hook. Sorry. It's supposed to sit around here, hook there, and then like hook there. So then that tension brings it back to reset. It's a horrible design. This thing always breaks. As you can see, it's broken. And you can kind of maybe halfway reuse it and just unravel it a little bit. But what I always do on this vintage is I just put a wood screw through the block next to it. Even if there's not a fuse block up here, I just put it through this block. And then I hook a very weak spring to this. You want to get these springs off of like your stepper units. That one, I don't know what to tell. This spring I'm talking about. This spring that's extremely weak. You want to get that spring on the spare stepper unit and just hook them up to the coil here, because this ball release is meant to potentially be on for an entire day and never fry, because if somebody starts the game and walks away, that's going to be on the entire day. So it's only weak enough to pull in very little. So you just want it to be barely there. But yeah, it's a little odd how it works. I mean, the balls fall in there. You count up your balls to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the final ball. I don't know if that's gonna work. Lights your game over, but you know, you can still hit the flippers. There's no actual relay that triggers the game over. The only other thing that I noticed, oh yeah, this is a vintage where you've got to have a fuse out of here. That is the low line fuse that is missing. You do not put a fuse in that holder. If you put a fuse in that holder, you have to take a fuse out of this other middle holder. Like, take this one and then put it in the other one. That's for your high tap. So this machine is not on high tap right now. You should never need to put an early Williams games on high tap because they're 50-volt coils, and if it's playing sluggish, you need to clean it more. And there's also this fuse here. I don't know what the heck this is for. I just cleaned the fuse holder and I soldered it back together because this clearly isn't original. I had to solder it in order to, or I had to clip it off to unplug this clip. I have no idea what that fuse is there for, but got your ball rolling tilt. You got your standard tilt. Tilt it up. It's funny, the bumpers, even the yellow bumpers go out on game over, but they must not be hooked up to the same GI as the rest of the playfield, because the rest of the playfield stays illuminated, even though these never go out unless you tilt it. Oh, and the thing I'm the most proud of, these little star targets. These are the originals. I didn't realize they were a hint of blue until it was too late, but so these are the originals. And these are the reproductions I made. I didn't want to replace them all with bullseyes because these score 100,000, the stars do, and then the bullseyes actually spot you your card and give you 10,000. So I didn't want to replace them all with bullseyes, but they don't make that star target anymore. You can get that one from Pinball Resource, that blue one with the star in it. It's the same one they use in Stern's Sea Witch, but that one has a hole in the middle that they use for a rivet. Yeah, the original top two targets, this is the remnants of one. Completely, utterly disintegrated. Like, one of them had already fallen off, and then the other one, as I was taking it off, it just was completely disintegrated. So I used an old Bally white rollover. I painted a star on there. I glossed it with my Krylon triple thick so it wouldn't wear off. And I also took my soldering iron on the back end and I not only epoxied the target to the front, but I melted the back end, made it a little fatter. So even if for some reason the epoxy wears out and the target's kind of just dangling in there, because all of these targets always get epoxied whenever I do it. I don't like when the stars are like halfway oriented and not facing exactly straight up, so I like to have them solid. And yeah, I just do that, and that's all good. Last but not least is, I suppose, the back of the machine. But even if the video cuts out, because I tilted it. What did I hit? I'm not stuck on anything. What the hell? Oh, I have it plugged in. I was like, I forgot I plugged it in way over there. Oh, that's funny. It stayed plugged in. Oh, that's funny. All right. Here we are. Last but not least, take a little gander inside the back box. Some goofy guy did some duct tape on the back, but at least it didn't go too far into the cabinet where you're actually seeing stuff. Oh, almost unplugged it again. My goodness. Yeah, that cord's really stretched now. Going past all my slot machines. But yeah, you can see in the back here, I've got the new plastic tip in this plunger where it was melted, and a plunger in this one as well. Plastic tip, really nice and epoxied down in there. Yeah, standard replay unit. Doesn't even have a knocker on the replay unit, which I thought, how does it power the knocker if there's no knocker switch on the replay unit? But considering every time you're scoring, actually that doesn't make any sense, because you can get a replay off of the millions, just not off the gobble hole. You can get the replay off of like hitting a switch and getting 5 million. Must be a switch on the 100,000 relay, or this switch that does the replay step up. Most likely whenever it steps up the replay unit, this coil is probably just hooked in line to the knocker coil, so that makes sense. So yeah, you got your 10,000 relay. Right here you've got inside switch pulses 100,000 step up, outside switch opens lock circuit on 10,000 relay. So you just have the lock switch and then the pulse 100,000 switch. That pulses it, of course, when it's in that position. just a continuous stepper, but I mean they cut a lot of freaking grooves in these rivets. So I hope it lasts, but I don't know how much faith I have in it. I mean, I cleaned it up best I could, but you can't really replace those rivets unless you want to file them all the way down and then just hope after that. But yeah, pretty standard fare. So let's see if we can see it reset. I'm not going to take this whole unit off, so hopefully you got a good idea of where the stuff is. You got your scores, 4.5 million all the way to 7.5 million. Every single scorecard you can have on this machine is going to have an 8 million and an 8.5 million replay. So that's already wired into the unit. You don't have an option to turn those off or on. You always get a replay at 8 million or 8.5 million. My buddy Alex got 8,340,000 the other day when he came over and played it. He's been the only person to play this besides myself, and yeah, he was crushing it. So yeah, that's a good deal. Hopefully you enjoyed this video on Williams Kings. I'm trying to remember if I forgot anything. If you stuck around for this long, look at this back glass right here. Look at these guys, and look at the comment section, and tell me what you think. You'll understand when you get to the comment section. All right, see ya.